What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. Today's video is my July 2024 investing in single Pokemon cards. We're going to take a look at a whole slew of cards from Scarlet and Violet era, from Sword and Shield era. We're going to end it with Evolving Skies because how do we not end it with Evolving Skies? The set just continues to dumbfound everyone with all the gains it's making. But here's the big thing is that I want you to take note. Going to look at some 1 month graphs. We're also going to look at some 3 months graphs. It's important to take a big picture view because there's a lot of hype show out there right now. Wow, the Sword and Shield market is crashing. The Scarlet and Violet era is crashing. It's not. That's the 1 month graph, which I'm going to show you. If you take a step back and look, these cards are still way up. It's the same old song and dance as what always happens. They start right here, they go big time up, then they come down, but this new level is still way higher than it was before the big gain. So let's take a look. Here is July 2024 investing in singles. Okay, for the first bit, we're going to just start from the most recent set, and then we're going to work our way backwards towards Sword and Shield, starting with Twilight Masquerade. Still doing well. It's actually surprisingly doing well. And then, of course, the Grey Ninja is absolutely going bonkers right now in the market. Starting with the Kieran, up 3.3% over the last month. $40.62 is where it currently sits. Teal Mask Ogerpon down 8.7%, but still well above $40, so not too bad for this card as well. This is the most expensive Ogerpon card of the set due to its ability in the TCG. And then we have the Buddy Buddy Poffin, which I didn't change the header there, my bad, but down 2.1% for this card. This card also a really important one in the TCG as I've been learning the game. And this one, I expected to come down because lots of the gold cards don't hold their value quite as well. This one, apparently people love gold cards in their decks because this card is holding its value really nicely. Eevee, one of the best illustration rares of Scarlet and Violet era so far, and it's showing up 14.6% over the last month to $48.15. It's one of the top cards of the set of Twilight Masquerade. Blood Moon Ursaluna going in the reverse direction, but really it's only down $6, down 10.2% to $50.88. Kind of seems to be leveled off there for the last couple weeks. Perrin, I think this is my favorite card of the set, honestly, which is hard to say because the Grey Ninja is so cool and the Carmine is great too. But I just love the fact that this matches up with that Growlithe card, and the Growlithe is in the photo, the camera. Like, it just, I love it. I don't know why. Anyways, this card down a little bit, but still holding its value quite well, $73.83, where this one currently is. I skipped one. There's the Carmine, down 12.7%, but still above $100. Wild stuff, well over a month into Twilight Masquerade, and it's 2 cards over $100. Crazy stuff. And then the Grey Ninja. Look at this. Okay, here's the kind of what has happened with this card. It started off pretty good. It went on a little bit of a tear over the first week of release of Twilight Masquerade. Then it started dropping, and everyone was like, yeah, we saw this coming. Grey Ninja is going to be below $100. Hit around like 125. We bought this card, me and my friend Josh, at Card Party for like 135, 140. I can't remember exactly what we paid for it, but it was on the down, and now it has just been on a tear for the last couple of weeks, up to $232.59, a 40% gain on this card. The pull rates, they're tough. I think, if I remember correctly, we were talking about it yesterday with PokeJace, and the pull rates on this card are harder than some of the Sword and Shield alt arts. This card is a hard one. It's a total banger. Could stay high. Let's wait and see for sure. All right, Temporal Forces, some changes at the top. That was a slide from last month, but still kind of surprising. Prime Catcher is down 9.2%, so this one was a $30 card for a long time. Now it's down to below $20. Then we have the Ghastly, another illustration rare that's doing quite well, even though it's not as good as some of them. This card I could see still holding its value in the future, up to $28.11, a 31% gain. Morty's Conviction, that same line of Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar. Love this card. Down a bit, 10.3%, $42.46. Looks like it could drop a little bit more. Remember, this one had that big manipulation a couple months ago, where it spiked to like $90. It was crazy. Walking Wake really holding its value at $46. Iron Crown, this one actually is surprising. I thought this was going to maintain its spot as the top card of Temporal Forces, but clearly not. It's down 17.8% to just under $60, leaving us with the Raging Bolt at the top, but this one also had a big downturn over the last month, was at $98.49, now down to $80.18, so an 18.6% drop on this one. Paldean Fates, not much change here. The Baby Shiny still holding nicely. The Charmander and Charmeleon, both around that $20 mark. And the Pikachu, still one of the top cards of the set at $35.78. Gardevoir up 3.8% to $51.61. Nice card. I love this card. Then everyone loves this card. How do you not? The Mew, the Bubble Mew, up 12.6%. So actually a nice gain, up $10 over the last month to $89.71. Even the Zard is getting some love, up $6.50 to $119.67. Honestly, I thought these couple cards were gonna still be high, but I didn't expect them to both be in that $90 and $120 range, to be honest with you. Paldea Evolved. We're skipping Paradox Rift. We're skipping 151. There's really been no change over the last month. I mean, there's been minimal changes, but nothing too crazy to report. As I was looking at the data this week, Tyranitar and Paldea Evolved, however, down quite a bit. $34.66 is where it is, a 23% drop. Raichu also down a little bit to $40.74, but these illustration rares, these are the 1 month graphs, and I didn't include the 3 months graphs, but I will as we get into Sword and Shield. Here's what it is. These cards had big gains over the last 3 to 6 months. Now they're just slowly settling down. It's not a big deal. I wouldn't be concerned at all because illustration rares have been proven in the last few months that people tend to like them a lot in Scarlet and Violet era. Iono, this one is dropping quite significantly, down to $72.86. And over the last couple weeks here, it has been dropping. We'll see where this one settles down at. But the Magikarp is just continuing to clean house, up 18.7% over the last month to $133.88. Absolutely wild that an illustration rare is going for so much money. All right, Crown Zenith. Remember, these cards had big gains the last time we did this in June. Now, the Mewtwo, this is where we're going to start talking about the 1 month to 3 month graph. So 1 month graph down 20% to 56.19. The 3 month graph up 26% to 56.19. Big difference. Look at that. Huge down on the 1 month, big up on the 3 month. Okay, Arceus, the same thing, down from $95.08 to $72 over the last month. But then if we look at the 3 month graph, actually up 23.8% to $72. And this is my favorite example, or one of them anyways. Here's what I'm talking about. It starts at this level, then it reaches way up high, and it comes back down, but it's still quite a bit higher than it was. So this is beautiful. This is why we just get the cards that you like. You let them increase over time, and even as they fluctuate up and down, you're still actually gaining some money in the long term, unless you buy at the absolute peak, which is a thing because I've done it too. It's easy to buy when it's going well and everyone has FOMO, but it's important to just let it simmer, let it slow cook, as we like to say on the Poke Office talking about food. Giratina V-Star, same story, down from $135 to $111, but then over the 3 month, it's actually up 44.7%. It started 3 months ago at $77. Absolutely wild stuff. Okay, now we're into the good stuff, and it's just going to continue doing this. The 1 month graph is going to be down. The 3 month graph is going to be up. So don't listen to all that hype about the Sword and Shield market crashing. It's not a thing. Tyranitar, 1 month is down $10 to $175, but 3 months is actually almost doubled its money from $90 to $175. Galarian Moltres from Chilling Reign, down a couple bucks, but over the 3 months, it's up $30 for 23.9% gain, up to $167.35. Blaziken, big loss here, $60 down over the last month, but a huge gain, 77.5% to $350 over the last 3 months. The Mew VMAX from Fusion Strike, big down, well, big being on the graph. It's actually only a $6 drop, but it's up $30 to $100.26 over the last 3 months. Absolutely wild stuff. This one, one of the unicorns of Sword and Shield so far, because it actually gained over the last month, even though it's starting to come down a little bit. But this card is absolutely gone wild, up to $297.51. Look at over the last 3 months, it is up 105%. That means it has more than doubled over the last 3 months. Wild stuff. And I don't see this card going down to $150 again anytime soon. Like, even if it goes down to $200, that's a $50 gain over like a 6-month period of time. Crazy. Gengar, this one has also dropped quite substantially, almost $30 drop over the last month, but it's still gained a lot over the last 3 months. A nice gain on this card. Actually, for a while there, back like in April, May, this card was right in line with the Rayquaza and the Giratina, like kind of fighting for that one of the top 3 spots of Sword and Shield, but this card did not keep up. Charizard from Brilliant Stars, down $8 or so over the last month to $170, where it currently sits in the marketplace, and now in the last 3 months, up substantially, a 37% gain. Started 3 months ago at $124. Garchomp, this is actually my favorite illustration on the graphs. Check this out. So last month it was at $36. Now it's at $25.41. Oh no, this card is crashing. Check it. This is a perfect graph. $20.25 is where it was 3 months ago. Hit that high of like $50. So yeah, it would have been awesome for you to buy low and sell high. But if you just held on to this card, you still made a 25% gain on this card. And it kind of just looks like it's going to be leveled off at $25. I can't see the future. I'm speculating, but it looks like it's kind of done its decline and sitting at $25, which is still a $5 gain on a $20 card. That's really, really good. Nothing wrong with that. Starmie, similar situation, currently at $53.26, down over the first month, but over the 3 months, it's up 34.3%. Pretty nice. The Machamp, same thing, down a little bit over the last month, up a lot over the last 3 months. It's just the same old song and dance for every one of these cards almost. The Aerodactyl, similar thing. This one had a pretty nasty fall over the last month, but a nice gain. And seriously, this one could follow that Garchomp example. Started at $8 or $90, and maybe it'll only level off at $100. That's still a $10 gain. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. A 10% gain. I love it. Okay, Giratina, big drop from $450 to $391. Now it's still up 35% from $291 to $391. And realistically, this card was like in the 230s, I think, if I remember correctly, not that long ago. Lugia, down $25, but actually up substantially. It's up $50-something over the last 3 months, 41.2% gain. Currently at $190.67. All right, we all know it, Evolving Skies, and it's going to be the same thing, except Evolving Skies continues to just crush. Watch this. Rayquaza down over the last month, but actually up huge over the last 3 months, currently at $116.92. The Umbreon, not even really that down, 1.4% drop, so a $2.50 drop, but a big gain, still a $25 gain over the last 3 months, and it's kind of just leveled off there. It's like happily sitting at $180 or so, $170 over the last couple of months. Dragonite, a little bit of a drop, about $11, but a huge gain still over the last 3 months, $179.73, where this one currently sits. The Sylveon still actually up over the last month. That's almost a $15 gain over the last month, and a huge gain, a 73% gain to $250, where it currently sits in the market. This one I could see coming back down to earth a little bit, maybe just a little bit lagging behind some of the other cards where it had that big spike. But we'll see. Glaceon, this is actually a unicorn, because check this out. Started at $251 a month ago. Now it's above $300. $315 is where it currently sits. And just huge gains over the last 3 months. 104% gain, meaning it's doubled and a little bit extra. Leafeon, similar, up over the last month by 5% and doubled and a little bit over the last 3 months. Absolutely wild. 3 months ago, this card, you could get it for $170. Now $345. Wild stuff. This one, Rayquaza, has clearly cemented itself as the number 2 card out of Sword and Shield value-wise. because it just continues to hold value so well. Currently at $458.51, and over the last 3 months, it has gained 56.5% from $292.89. Of course, you know what card is coming. The Umbreon, down a little bit, but realistically, it's only down $34, 3.7% loss over the last month, but still a huge gain. Everyone was freaking out when it was $671. Everyone was freaking out when it was $500. Wow, this card is too much money. Well, it hit a high of like $950 recently, and it's still at $871. Wild stuff. Absolutely wild stuff coming from Evolving Skies. So I hope that made sense to you. It's just really important to take a step back, look at what's actually going on. Don't just like be that narrow-minded person who sees the 1 month graph, sees the falling prices, and then is like, oh no, I need to sell. I mean, selling is not a bad thing. If you need to cash flow a little bit, no problem. But if you're worried that the market is crashing, it's not crashing. It's just coming down a little bit. Like when you see these huge spikes, those are kind of unnatural in my opinion. And at some point, people are going to be like, no, that card is not worth that much. That card needs to come down. And then that's just the way the market works. There's not enough demand for that product. There's too much supply, so the price drops. And then as people start buying that back up, the demand comes in, the supply starts to lower, and then the price starts to go up again. It's just, we see it if you look at the graphs from Sun and Moon. We see it in Sword and Shield happening right now. And already we're even seeing it in Scarlet and Violet era. It's just wild stuff. And Scarlet and Violet era, like we're in that era right now. There's still lots of things to happen in Scarlet and Violet era. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. What are you buying? What are you selling in terms of singles in July 2024? Look forward to hearing from you. And until my next video or next live stream, peace.